Hi guys, so I'm Jenna.
I'm Larry.
And we are part of Deadwood Manor. And so what we're going to show you guys today is actually how to turn a lamp that we actually found at the Goodwill into a realistic looking candelabra.
Alright, so what we got here is a couple examples of some lights that we have. We've got some questions about our lighting that we have in our haunt. We've been doing it for several years now. So we have just a standard fixture you can buy from the Goodwill. I think the girls got this at the Goodwill.
About $9.50.
There we go. So if you are not mechanically inclined or don't have any mechanical nature in your body, you can go ahead and just buy some light bulbs and screw them on and away you go.
And it still looks really good, it does.
That's right. These are not super expensive, but they're not really cheap either. Another example is the floor lamp here that we have. The girls found that, and we muted the bulbs down so they look more realistic. But the one that we're shooting for is this particular one here in the front. Jenna made all the candles for it. It was another one similar to this one here, but this one uses low voltage 12 volt flickering light bulbs in it that you can get from LED Lighthouse. So this is the goal that we're looking for, and that's what we're going to try to show you today on how to do that.
Alright guys, so we're back and we're going to show you a couple of steps of how we're going to turn this into a candelabra. So our first step is our PVC pipe. And you can get this at any hardware store basically. So basically what we're going to do is we're going to take it, we're measuring it down. This is a scrap piece that we already had measured. And basically what you want to do is you just want to put it on there and measure it to about the length that you want it to be roughly. The center light here of course is going to be a bit taller than the other ones around it. And then we're also going to show you how we're going to strip this down to where we can get it to flicker.
All right, so like she said, whatever candle size that fits on there, you just look for the corresponding PVC pipe. You can make candles bigger, smaller. Jenna's going to cut some of these and she's going to show you how to faux these up to make them look like they've been melted with dripped wax. You can basically have fun with this, go crazy, do whatever you would like to do with them. There's really no way to really do it. Just however you think it looks good, that's what you want to do. All right, so let's measure these out real quick. So we're going to use this one as a template because we do like the size of it. So there's a 6, and there's one more because we only need 3 for those. And then we're going to make a 12-inch cut for the center section, which will be about somewhere in
right
there. Like
there.
I said, just make your stuff to where it looks the way you want it to look. Today we're just going to use a cutter instead of the
Hacksaw because it's
hacksaw.
a bit quicker.
All right, there we
We're
go.
going to line it up on the line.
Yep, just get close, ratchet it down. There you go. It is a little tough. This is some heavy pipe. So they do make thinner PVC pipe. This store didn't particularly have the thinner stuff, so we're going to end up going with this thicker stuff right now. So, all right, there's one of them.
First one.
Here's your next one. All right. So we're going to make these. There's the 3. And then we're going to go ahead and we're going to make the one for the middle.
You got it?
Yeah, just got the wrong angle.
Alrighty.
All right.
There's
So-
our candles.
So what she's going to do now, she's going to take the little sponge sanding block and take all this off. If you don't take this off, it does like to bleed through on the color when you spray paint them. So it's just a good idea to get ahead of it now, wipe it off real quick before you start doing all of your hot glue. All right, we'll see you in a little bit. All right, we're back. So what we're going to do is we're going to take this cord off of this. We're going to start disassembling this light. I like to save this cord as much of it as I can. You never know when I need to use it for something else. Make sure it's unplugged before you go ahead and take it off. Anyways, there you go. You're going to basically look on the bottom. There's generally a nut down here. You can basically take them loose with just a pair of pliers, nothing special. Just reach in there and you'll start just taking these things apart. You may have to look at some of them. They just come apart in different ways. Basically just keep disassembling them, twist them, check them. I mean, they do come apart relatively easy. Kind of remember which way you took it apart. And then that way you can have access to get all your low voltage wire in there, which is going to be an 18 gauge 2-wire, which will be a red and a black for your positive and negative for your 12 volt light. And the lights that we're going to be using today, or utilizing, will be the ones from Lighthouse LED. We've picked those up. We bought those ahead of time. They're not too expensive, roughly 50 cents a piece. These are little LEDs with a self-blinking diode inside. These are already pre-wired with a pigtail on it. So pretty much the red wire goes to the red, the black goes to the black. All right, Jen's going to show you how to go ahead and start making some of these candles.
All right, so as you guys can see, we sanded them down and there's no more color left. And so what we're going to do is we're going to use our hot glue gun. And ours is the Aero Hot Glue from Home Depot. Now, any hot glue gun works. We just got this one because it puts out more glue quicker, so we get it done a little bit quicker. Also, they sell boxes of hot glue at Home Depot with it. And you can use any color hot glue, really. There's some that come in UV and black light. We just use the regular because we're going to end up spray painting it. And what we're doing is I'm actually on a silicone mat that a lot of people probably use for baking. We use it because it's heat resistant. Basically what you're going to want to do is you're just going to want to take your hot glue gun, you're just going to squeeze it, and you're just going to want to let the dots roll down. And this is actually what's going to give you your dripping effect of melting wax. Now what you do is you just let that go and you do a bunch more around it and you just keep building up and it'll eventually give you the effect of a full melting candle. And depending on how much you put at the top, depends on how much drips down. So you can control it. And then we're just going to do this to all 4 of our candles and then we'll start wiring and everything.
All right, we're back. So what we have going on here is whenever you guys disassemble these lamps and we're getting rid of the old wiring, we're going to this smaller wire, which is 18 gauge 2-wire. So you're basically going to run into an issue where it's not going to go around this bend. So we have a little hack for you guys if you're willing to try to do this. What you need to do is you need to take your little guy right here. You need to take your little shop vac. Jenna's got it right here. We're going to take this, we're going to stick the end in it. Jenna's going to take the string right here. She can turn on the vacuum. Voila! You basically pulled the string through the bend of this light fixture. You're going to take your 18 gauge, you're going to pre-strip this wire out because you cannot get it through this bend with the wire sheathing on it. So you're basically going to take this, strip this piece out like so, get your red, we're going to get your black, we're going to take these two, put them together, we're going to tie it to the end of the string that we sucked through the fitting. Hold that for me, Jenna.
I gotcha.
All right, so we're just going to tie like a double knot, nothing fancy here. Make sure it's good and tight, and then Jenna's going to bend the end of that over so the tip of the wire doesn't catch on the threads as you're pulling it back through.
And just so the knot doesn't slip off either.
Okay. So I'm going to take the wire. She's going to feed it through the hole. While she's pushing, I'm kind of pulling and wiggling. There we go. Pull back just a little bit. Sometimes you're going to pull back just a little bit. And guess what? Voila. You've just pulled your wire through a bend that you couldn't push it through. So go ahead and push a little bit more. Right. Want to make sure you feed yourself plenty of wire. Bend the ends back over, pull the knot off.
And there you go.
And there you go. Now you can pre-wire this into your lamp without a problem. All right, hope that helps you guys. All right, everybody, so we got the candle stripped out, or the fixture stripped out. We're going to take our wire, and then we have to start feeding it back in. So you need to make sure that you take the nut and the washer first before you put it back together and slide it over the wire first. This way we can put it back together. And then you need to take it and put it back together in the order that you took it apart. So you're just basically reassembling what you did while you're fishing the wire through all of the pieces, so that way you can get yourself a completed fixture again. So let's see here. This is not the right washer, so let's do that one. There we go. Feed it through. Feed it through the fixture. And basically they're hollow. They're just pieces of threads on them that you just screw sequential nuts, you know, one on this one, then to the next one, and so on. So you just want to make sure you get those all started. Maybe. All right. Do the next one. We will put this one in. I just like to be a little finicky on you sometimes. You're just going to keep reassembling this light until you get it back to what it used to look like when you originally took it apart. So we'll just keep going, keep putting it back together. So let's use this one here. And you guys will get an idea of this when you take it apart on how to put it back together. You can always take some photos if you're leery of how you took it apart. So eventually it'll all be back together. So we're just trying to finish the final tightening here. All right. Go.
What are you doing right now?
So I'm tightening the bottom nut, which basically is where the wire goes up through the base of the lamp. We brought it up through. We've tightened the center section. Now we're tightening down the little 3 arms that are on the sides here, making sure to leave plenty of wire sticking out because you're going to need that for when you go to do your wiring. So we are tight there. Now you're going to take your little guys here, you're going to fish them through, and you're just reassembling this lamp is all you're doing. So you're taking your little nuts and everything back together, putting them all back together so it will look like a lamp once more. So getting everything on. It's not too difficult to put back together. It's just time consuming. You just gotta get your fingers in there. All right, so what we've done, we've got the lamp almost all the way back together. We fed up our main line through the bottom. You need to make sure you come through the open nut right here. Make sure you leave 2 leads for the top candle, and we're basically gonna hook all the blacks to black, all the red to red.
Alright, so what we're going to do is we're going to paint our candles. And our first coat of what we're going to do is primer flat white. And this is just to give it a overall base cover and cover everything. And then we're going to come back with satin heirloom white, and it's just going to help knock down the brightness and make it look like a more realistic candle.
Alright, so we're back. We got the majority of this put back together. Remember, red to red, black to black. We actually used a soldering iron, twisted them together, basically soldered the connections with some solder, and then basically took some heat shrink tubing, slipped those over, and basically heat shrink those. So now all you got to do now is take a small piece of foam pipe insulation, twist it around it. You want to cut it down until it fits into the tube. Basically twist it down, push it in, get the wire down in there a little ways. Then you're going to take this little guy, give her a little pop, push her down a couple times. Away we go, and then There it is. You can adjust your little light or your candle per se to stick out however far you want. And we're going to go ahead and glue this one on last in the middle, and then we'll hook this one up, and then we'll be complete and we'll light it up.
All right, we're back. And so what we did was we placed our candle on, we fed the wire through, and then we hooked it up to our 12-volt power supply through a barrel connector. And we're just showing you what it looks like fully completed. I'm going to turn off this light over here, and we're going to see what it looks like. Now it is going to get a little dark, but it gives you the candle effect. And that's how you turn a lamp into a candelabra.